Well, hello everyone, welcome to another video from me, Solid, and great to have you here. Welcome to Doing Dailies with Solid and nothing else, apparently. Because I keep trying to do them and it keeps coming. Man, alright, so I've noticed something. Oh god, my ear. Super quiet. Quieter than it should be. Just a moment. Alright, crisis averted. My headphones. Alright, anyway, where was I? Ah, yes. So, daily missions, right? So it appears that I got about an hour, less than an hour, to complete my dailies. So, while we do that, I'm going to talk about the the missed video that I was supposed to upload and I just didn't feel comfortable uploading. But yeah, no. This is a video about a video. So, I actually recently did the... I have a video, and I do have it, made and uploaded. I just didn't want to post it. But kind of my reasons to it are literally because I just wasn't happy with it, which is kind of simplistic. I'm gonna lose this one. Yes, I am. Yeah. But yeah, no. So I pretty much wanted to kind of upload a video. I wanted to kind of get away with not get away with. That sounds like a really bad word to say. But I wanted to talk about the ongoing issue, essentially with the PvE mode or the damage rankings, and it keeps happening. And it definitely was egregious before. I uploaded the video. It was about an hour of me getting upset. I beat this stage at a certain difficulty, and I kind of came up with a alternative finally. And kind of what it broke it down to, right, is because again, I don't feel comfortable uploading what essentially feels like an hour of me just kind of raging that much. Especially since I did my dailies on that one, which is whatever. I got kind of lucky in the beginning. I may upload that. We'll see. But the issue is not only with that. It's kind of like a mixture of stuff, right? When you try to play a game, you're trying to enjoy it, kind of pretty much standard. And you use what you have, especially in Gacha games, to try and get the rewards that they kind of put in front of you, right? As a whole deal. This was really going to be like World Boss or World Fest or something, but I think I'm going to save it for another one. Mostly because I just want to do other ones, and yeah, no. So, the entire deal was me trying to play the game. I tried to play it. I played it. I wasn't happy with it. And so I essentially stopped playing it. And you would like, and it does not surprise me that the entire mode itself is kind of meant for you to push you towards buying stuff, but the rewards themselves are kind of mediocre. Sorry, I got distracted by some of the comments on that. But yeah, no, so kind of to break it down with, right, so I did this event. I tried beginner difficulty, I tried challenger difficulty. I was able to, again, I managed to clear this one. I got into the damage rankings. Well, I say cleared, I managed to live long enough to get to the damage rankings. I made it to 26.78% without dying. I made it this whole 60 seconds. But what the issue then kind of starts upon, because again, I'm not the best one, but people are starting to play with, because the first release was you could use a blue team, right? So nobody really had an issue with damage output. But since the new one kind of came out, well, it's yellow, and you gotta survive with the Bepsilon team, right? And what they're starting to do, and it's actually more heinous on the guild hunt for kind of obvious reasons, because it has the potential of giving you more rewards than anything else. And granted, the rewards, in my opinion, are kind of pointless, because you really cap out at like 100,000 points on these ones. I managed to get like a total of 88,000. I exchanged it for 10 of each, just in case I get the characters later on throughout the years. And I got like more of this one because I can actually use the infusion material for the bracelet. But the entirety of this, again, boils down to the introduction of the damage ranking mechanics since I don't think it was Jimmy Somerview. I don't think that was introduced it. The thing before it. Ever since introduced the Perfect Maid, I am noticing this, and I think most people, there's really not much talk about it. Most people just kind of like let it be. And again, it's not like I won't say necessarily that our community is small, but the problem is with the management of Crunchyroll and the management of it's just primarily Crunchyroll, and just perhaps how the developer team kind of is just letting it be as it stands, for like being so, I'm gonna say it like it is. It's just definitely relatively money hungry. Because again, post of this degree should be cheaper, especially with the amount of polls you're doing. It has gotten better lately, but it hasn't improved entirely. Selection banners still can be a little bit rough, though. Again, the exchange shop the exchange is still at 200. If you want to summon on any collab banners, you're pretty much out of luck, because the collab banners can sometimes be like essentially pushed out. If you want to summon on selection banners, because you perhaps like a character from a seasonal outfit, such as myself liking Aurora, you can't summon on it because she ends up being very niche, even though her outfit is fantastic. It's just kind of how it is. But kind of the main issue I have with like the entirety of like putting like certain rewards behind it is because it's already bad enough for us to like struggle with some of the rewards. And I'm gonna say like this. I'm like losing a little bit because I was busy cleaning up some boxes before like this entire video, so my brain's a little bit like like fuzzed out at this point. But yeah, no. So we come upon an issue that is pretty simple. That you can't do events. You cannot clear like challenging events. I would like a challenge event title. And I'm not the best. I would like to see if I could get maybe a title to see if I can beat it. Not like the highest, granted, because it is really difficult to beat the event regardless. But I'd like to be able to do that. I'd like to be able to do one of the events, right? Hold on, I'm like super like confused for this. That one and that one. I got like about 45 minutes left, so I just want to finish this off. I'm so sorry. Except like the timing on that kind of caught up to me. I was doing other stuff and I was eating. It took me like an eternity. But yeah, let's claim that. Then we got most of that shit done. We gotta do Chronicles. So we just gotta look at beta and then do whatever quests they're demanding. Can't do any of those. We're gonna do Bepsilon next. We're gonna max out. And do the rest of these. And then do that. Alright. Okay, do it again. And then we actually hit cap. Okay. But yeah, no, like kind of like my issue right now currently with the game is not like man, like actually like kind of fuck the day. Like at this point, I just finished up. It's whatever. But when you're trying to play the game, you start out pretty simply. They give you nothing. They give you some advice, and you kind of have to build up your teams, and over time, the game becomes doable. Is it fun? Is it easier? And that is honestly can be debated because they really start you out with nothing. I do believe they're starting you out with Shadowfest as of nowadays. As a returning player, I basically had nothing, and even when they give me some stuff, I don't remember if it was anything really quite good. I summoned in the selection banner because I like the characters, and honestly, what ended up happening is a lot of my characters ended up falling off pretty significantly. I summoned on Beatrix and I summoned on whatchamacallit, an Alexia. I summoned on both of these, and while they say to me they stay fairly relevant. The only one that to me has remained relevant in any way, shape, or form is Beatrix. And the reason behind her is because she kind of has what I consider one of the fastest alt rushes in the entire game. And she can kind of be used to clear like the beginning of some of the with some of the Armageddon classes kind of stuff. It's really fast, like genuinely really fast. But again, those are selection banners that can be seen as kind of like a waste if you're not investing in a good player, especially if you're a returning player. It is really difficult to kind of say what is good, what is not. And again, with new terminology comes new difficulties. Shadowfest never had heard of it. Never did. They weren't around when I started playing originally. So when I first came back, like properly to it, they essentially filled me with confusion. But what I'm trying to say essentially, right? This game mode, this. Oh, okay. So hard. What the hell? Interesting. So they actually do have the hard mode. Okay. Interesting. 80. What the fuck? Fascinating. But yeah, no, it's become overall like over time harder and harder for no particular reason, and without any real way to clear them, because I talked about this on like the other video, and I haven't uploaded it, so kind of hard to really describe it. But what I kind of broke things down in my personal opinion, right, is this should add more difficulties. It is pretty simple. Add more difficulties. I do not know, nor do I really care to understand why they don't add more. Because to me, it is already hard enough to try and do like hard difficulty on this thing, and then normal difficulty is too easy. There's no in between, and I'm trying to get points so I can do it faster, so I don't have to sit and click 20 times to auto a fight that is better done in normal mode for me. Because again, and everybody will suggest and strike before you say shit. I'm not necessarily calling you out because I know you're good, man. I don't want to summon on Bepsilon because there's 500,000 units that may replace her, and I don't really care so much for Beta personally. Epsilon is kind of nice, but I will always say hashtag waifu over meta, man. I like my waifu. I'm happy. If like I came here for a waifu. I stayed around for a waifu. When I didn't summon on them, sometimes it kind of hurts. But kind of what ends up happening is like there's a character that's really that good. By that point, I do hope to give you at least a semblance of currency to maybe try and summon on them because they're so like good for the game. And I think to this day, I honestly like if I was going to put it like in a tier list, if to this day, probably one of the best unit in the game, from my understanding, and I keep saying it every single day. It's probably Beta and Epsilon, the blue Shadowfest duo unit. That duo unit has been talked about. I have seen it over 20 times to this point in the Reddit and kind of like just like people using it to have like the best team. That is a very, very important unit in the game, as it stands now. You could probably clear most of the content early on with the unit. She is very good. I have no idea how she handles, because I really didn't care to bother for her. And it's like and it's like, again, it's a dual unit that is really good. And so far we've only gotten 2, but here we are in like what might be the second coming of another dual unit, and what I believe might be a Shadowfest in beta dual unit, which might be Apocrypha, mind you. Given the fact that they're kind of, because I like, this is kind of, again, it's kind of a little bit of a conspiracy there, is every time they drop some of these, they've done that like twice now, which I'm not like watching. If you like Shadow, if you like beta, or if you like beta like this, I'm not telling you to stop. Summon, go for it. I'm not your dad again. The problem is that if I try to summon on one of these, I don't have enough. I just do not have enough. And even if with like the guaranteed SS guaranteed special summon ticket, to be honest with you, I don't even know if that's like an actual guaranteed character from this roster. And I say from this roster, from these two, it's like it's a 1.4% chance, and everything else is kind of mild. There's like a very high chance you're gonna get it, but again, there's also like a chance you're not gonna get it, like a very high one. It's like 3%. There's like a 60% chance you're not gonna get it. Yeah, 3 out of 4.5, right? Yeah, like a 66.6 repeating kind of chance, right? And what ends up happening is, if I can't summon on this, or if you don't summon on like one character you like, then you kind of sad, depressed, and you're thinking about, maybe I should like stop playing the game. And as a player, and as a hopeful content creator, because again, honestly, the original started uploading videos just because I was really happy to make like about the game. I just got lucky, literally got lucky, and I started uploading stuff. And so, when new stuff comes along, and new features get added with like currencies, and they're essentially blocked behind this giant behemoth of a wall for like a ranking on this. Because again, I feel like a pleb. I feel like I fucking have spent my time doing absolutely nothing useful. Again, I'm at like 26.78%. I'm like pretty high in like the roster, but not like that high. And like, and the issue with this personally is like, I'm like a year away from people, and some units like I do have that are really good. And I think, this doesn't actually have the damage ranking itself either, because this had damage rankings. I know you did. Doesn't actually show you, but, and again, they took away mid-level too. I think people kind of understand that that's like a waste of the time, really. But the problem is, unless they're gonna post it as a mid-level thing for Guild Hunt, which I hope they do, because if they just take it out, again, beginners pretty bad. It's like absolutely shit for rewards. If you're not in a guild, you can essentially fuck off. Practically is what they're telling you. Because the reward ratio is really, really bad. Like I think like the most reasonable reward ratio is like on normal, and that's because you get the full amount for your like points. It's like one of the best options, and I don't think beginner is quite the most. I'm not sure if it's the most efficient. I may have to test that, but honestly, get into a guild if just to do like the hard stuff. I still have my own guild. Again, I have this guild. I'm on loan on it. I've been playing alone on it, mostly because I haven't really advertised it that much. But again, if you guys probably are playing like on your own guilds or whatever, doing kind of like good stuff and stuff. But even then, the problem is like if you're a short player, if you're like a starting or want to be a starting player, a new player, right? A lot of the mechanics in this game are gonna start like normally like they're starting to like kind of like crumble up on you because they're like I saw somebody I think it was like Sticks I think I watched Sticks plays and I kind of messaged him like on the thing. Didn't necessarily get a message back, it's whatever. But putting that aside, I kind of posted on there, right? And I saw him with the new player experience, and the experience is kind of utterly shit. And I personally like, and I agree. It is kind of really difficult for a player to like start out. If you like the franchise, you just want to get the story and you want to clear it. But even the new story is unnecessary, like ungodly difficult to get through. Granted, I think whatchamacallit, if we go like part 1, some of this stuff is like new stuff, but like I think in like it's really long. It's like a long road there. And if you like, and since you're a new player, you might not have, say, blue Epsilon. Maybe somebody tells you, hey, you should probably use this unit because she's really good. Or maybe you got the selection banner. Maybe you got like or maybe you got like you came in because of Hollow Cure and you got this character, and you trying to use her, but guess what? Do you know what's so funny? Her special ability, her absolute darkness stage ability, is locked behind rank 5, which is not hard. Again, nothing is really quite hard in this game, especially been playing it as long as most people have. You tend to amass a certain amount of like stuff and things, right? Yeah, let's see. Let's click on this. Right. So we have. Normally, I can go to rank 5. If we go to rank 5, you start getting these things, which is not necessarily the most difficult things to get. However, in order to be able to farm for these, you need, and I mean this literally, you need to go play through the game. And I'm pretty sure, I think at the blue stage is when they like the stuff is really difficult. Or when you start needing to get shards for blue for the blue shards, I think like the very beginning. Yeah, I think equipment shards. Yeah, let's see. I think the blue is when they start like having you farm the blue shit. Is it still no? No. There it is. There it is. Yeah, you need to farm for shards. And yeah, they're bronze shards, right? And well, I have like a lot of equipment because I've been playing this game for a while because of like anniversaries or stuff. Most people are probably gonna need their 9 shards of these ones, and guess what? Experience also limited. How many times? 30. And it's better to obviously have the expensive Tuna King cheeseburger or whatever the fuck this is called. So the premium currency for that stuff. But again, this limits how much people can play the game. The fact that this is limited to a certain amount is also really hurting like the gameplay. Because like I reached a point where I just can't use this one because I essentially spent it all during triple drop rate events because I needed to farm. I need to upgrade my units, and I still have basically what feels like half of them unleveled. And they're not all useful. That's kind of a given. They're not all useful. However, a lot of new units. Obviously, I'm going to put the priority on those on units that have SS Plus gear. SS Plus gear that is really good, such as Shadow Observer Beta. I haven't even given the time of day. I have barely managed to upgrade her to rank 17, and I'm not even close, fucking at all. Like I'm still not even close to maxing. Like to getting her to like the proper rank for this. And the reason behind it is because either I'm not farming one of the events, right, or I'm not getting like one of these shards, the correct shards, right, or the correct currency for it. I think you need Sanctuary Shop shards for that one. I think is what it is. No, you don't actually. You need Armageddon shards. Yeah, you need Armageddon shards, and I just cannot be bothered to play it. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, Armageddon, difficult thing to play, since honestly, it should be available until the end of the day. I honestly think this should be available until the end of the day, so people can play it throughout the entirety of it. Because having like a specific timing for only an hour is crazy. Again, I lost personally. It's whatever. I would like to show it off at some point, but again, you end up having the issue where you want to play with the mechanics, you want to play with some of the systems, but the systems are limited in time. The currency themselves suck dick, or you don't have the right unit at the right time. We're gonna claim all this, but yeah, no. And again, I kind of went on a rant because I'm tired and like my brain kind of like honestly it's like dead. I want to talk about it. I just want to get played, but instead of doing like a bunch of other chores and whatever. But again, we end up having the fucking same issue, not like, and this was the main issue, the main thing I wanted to talk about. This should have more difficulties. If there's one thing that I believe on, this should have way more difficulties, and not more difficulties, as in levels. This is let's call this level 1. This is fine. This is a level 10. If you're a level 1, you can't be doing level 10 shit. You're not gonna get any rewards for it. And even if you get the bare minimum rewards from damage rankings, it's so shit, it's not even worth, like, really doing anything about it. It's like, this is nothing. This is absolutely just shit. It's something, but this event is, like, this essentially is less than a fucking daily. Actually, it's a little, like, 10 dailies worth, I guess, but at the end of the day, you get this over the course of 2 weeks. 2 to 3 weeks. If you're doing this one, this is fine. If you can get up to here, this is great. This is fantastic. This is where the rewards kind of even out. This doesn't really matter. Anything after this one doesn't matter. I think this should be 1,500. Like, put it like this, right? Honestly, if you're getting Shadow class, you should be getting 3,000. Hot take. Do you know why? If you're in Shadow class, you probably spent money in the game. You can't prove me otherwise. At that point, you either got extremely lucky, which makes no difference between you playing the game and spending money, or spending money and like being real lucky. And then plus the level of skill it takes for that on top of that. So giving you a temple, absolutely worthless, because you're spending money on it. If this was 3,000, this would be fine. If Alpha class was 2,000, totally understandable. Like a difference in scales, really crazy. I think it's number 1, right? 1%. Understandable. Then it's like 1,500, maybe like 1,000 here, maybe like 800 or something, and then so on and so forth. So this is kind of worth, and it gives you like a reasonable reward. Again, I think like the bare minimum like rewards that you get is like 500, maybe like 600, 700. 800, so that's probably a little bit more. Maybe like this is where you kind of start like increasing like the ratio a little bit less. So like maybe this is like maybe like 300 here. It'd still be 3 times reward, granted. 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, and then since you come to Shadow class, I think it should be like like 800, and then it goes up to like 1,000, 1,500, and then maybe like 2,000. So there's like a ratio. I'm not exactly sure. But if you can't really do much with this one. And you're getting the same rewards as you're getting for Shadow class. This is just a title, which is cool and all, but like, again, you're just showing off that you're good at the game, and then you spend a shit ton of money, which, again, good for you. I don't care if you spend money. I don't really care. My main issue is that nobody's getting rewarded for it. Not really. Especially at the level of, like, especially at the amount of investment you have to do with this game, it's insane. And since we don't see these ones that, like, in, like, the events so often, it makes no sense. And, like, hell, put it like this, right? There will be a level of FOMO, but there will also be a high level of reward that you get from playing these events. It will make players play more of them, And like again, that kind of leads to three things: the rewards are not good enough. That there's not enough difficulties for the exchange points rewards, which again don't end up mattering after a while unless you're spending money on these ones. In which case, again, you probably have enough to clear it anyway. So again, I'm not judging you if you have enough to like spend on that. My concern is you're not really like the one that has the issues. But you do kind of fall under that category again. We need better awards. This needs to be better. I think that the top 1% you get 3,000, maybe 2,000 on the Alpha class, 1,500 on Delta class, and maybe like anybody that's here in forwards should get like maybe like 800 and below or whatever, somewhere along those lines. But if like a couple of thousands of dollars isn't worth at least a tenfold, I don't know what is, man. I don't know. Like if you're spending that much money, give me at least a tenfold. I'm really that good at the game. Like it's kind of like, man, I'm at your meta. And come on, what's 3,000 gonna do? Maybe get me an extra pull? Ooh, fancy. Or maybe like I had to like granted like the chances are there, but it's like a mild chance. So more difficulties, more rewards, and a better player experience. I think is what kind of obviously needs to be done. More difficulties for players to have access to rewards. Better rewards for this one, so it's actually worth it, and no limitations on what units you can bring. Because there is a limitation. It's called a major debuff to your party. It's honestly heinous. And I ranted long enough. I'm gonna stop right here. It's like long as fuck. But yeah, no. And again, I do apologize for all I don't want to call this a rage video. Like it is kind of partially, but I didn't end up uploading the video. I didn't like end up posting it because it was way too much. And I needed like some more time, but it's kind of one of those videos. It was done. Pardon for the yapping. It's done. I will be uploading some stuff about the World Quest stuff, and I will be uploading another video today from Wuthering Waves, so I am liking that game right now. But even setting that aside, hopefully you guys let off some steam, maybe like you heard me shouting out. Post your comments if you think I'm just stupid and wrong. Feel free to do so, I don't really mind. Again, we can talk, there's free discussion. Again, this is kind of like, honestly, half of this is screaming on deaf ears kind of thing. Whether they'll listen to me, it's like, again, nobody really will. It's kind of letting off steam because I'm upset at it. I don't want people to really deal with this shit because I think it's stupid. And I think the experience should be better and the reward should be kind of better. I'm not really necessarily like getting much other than like a tenth of a pull as it stands now, so it's whatever. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you watched it this long, welcome. Bye bye. And I'm out your dad. Play solid. Bye bye.